The most powerful names in the music industry are now facing disturbing questions, and what's coming to light may shock you. Behind the fame, the fortune, and the spotlight lies a darker story about ambition, exploitation, and the devastating price some children allegedly paid for stardom. This is the controversial narrative surrounding Usher's early rise to fame, the decisions made by the adults entrusted with his future, and the troubling environment he was reportedly exposed to as a minor. What really happened during Usher's time at Sean Diddy Combs' so-called flavor camp? And why are long-standing allegations about the treatment of minors in Hollywood resurfacing now? As these claims continue to circulate, they raise unsettling questions about power, silence, and a cycle of abuse the industry has long been accused of protecting.
The being around that man, Sean Puffy Combs, I don't sleep to this day. I have a problem sleeping to this day. Like, yo, man, I'm here to work, man. I ain't sang in a week. I mean, I'm 13 years old, and I'm telling him, look, you're gonna put me in the studio, man. You got Biggie Smalls in there, you got Craig Mack in there. I'm not here to party with you. I don't want to go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs? We would fight.
Usher's journey into the music industry began at an incredibly young age, with his career closely managed by his mother. Not long after, he was signed by legendary executive L.A. Reid, the same industry power player who would later help launch Justin Bieber's career. But just as Usher's momentum was building, something unexpected happened. He lost his voice, stalling his rise at a critical moment. It was during this vulnerable period that Usher and his mother were introduced to Sean Diddy Combs. According to widely circulated accounts, Diddy offered to take Usher under his wing, asking that the 13-year-old live with him so he could help develop his career. By that point, Diddy's reputation in the industry was already well known, making the decision deeply controversial. Yet despite the obvious risks, Usher was reportedly sent to live with him, away from home and without direct parental supervision, an arrangement that has since raised serious questions about judgment, responsibility, and the cost of chasing fame at any price.
I don't care what they say, because they tried to push me out. They didn't want me in. They would actually say, you know, you're too close to the project. No, I'm not. Because remember, Usher went to stay with Puffy. Now that was a business decision right there, because I didn't know Puffy. I didn't know him.
How old was he?
Usher was 15. He lost his voice.
Physically or just?
You know, puberty. He's growing and he lost his voice. So he lost his range. So the record company felt like, okay, this is not a great investment. So Puffy was there, and I will never forget it. We had this conversation and he said, you're going to have to trust me. That was really, really a hard decision.
Rather than prioritizing what was safest for her son, Usher's mother made what many critics later described as a business decision, sending her 13-year-old child to live under the guidance of one of the most controversial figures in the music industry. By her own admission, she did not truly know Sean Diddy Combs, nor did she fully understand what his intentions were. Despite that uncertainty, Usher was reportedly sent to live with him, unsupervised. Years later, allegations emerged suggesting that this period marked a deeply inappropriate turning point in Usher's childhood. In a Rolling Stone interview, Usher reflected on his time at what was known as Flavor Camp, describing an environment saturated with adult behavior and constant sexual activity, an atmosphere no minor should have been exposed to. His account painted a troubling picture of doors opening to scenes he was far too young to witness, leaving many to question how such conditions were ever allowed and why the adults responsible failed to intervene.
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn some...
Flavor Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
Nah, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but But I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans.
And your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary
okay?
J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like,
what
like
a
living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
During this period, Usher was living under Sean Diddy Combs' roof, and when his album was finally released, Diddy reportedly leveraged his industry influence to help propel Usher into the spotlight. According to long-standing allegations, that support came with unspoken expectations, namely, that Usher would remain under Diddy's control and follow his direction without question. Around the same time, troubling rumors began to circulate, suggesting that Diddy's relationship with the 13-year-old went far beyond professional mentorship. These claims have persisted for more than 2 decades, fueled by accounts from individuals who claimed proximity to Diddy, including former associates and security personnel, as well as comments Usher himself has made in interviews that many viewers later described as unsettling. While definitive proof has remained elusive, the behavior described raised serious red flags and intensified scrutiny. Disturbingly, Usher is often cited by critics as neither the first nor the last young artist allegedly placed in a similar situation, adding to broader accusations that the industry repeatedly failed to protect its most vulnerable stars.
I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bruh, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up for somebody that you know and a lot of more people know didn't do you right when you was at Diddy camp.
There were even reports suggesting that a disturbing incident connected to Sean Diddy Combs may have sent Usher to the hospital. Over the years, individuals within the industry have claimed they heard about a young artist living under Diddy's care who allegedly required medical treatment following a serious incident involving the producer. While these accounts were never formally confirmed, they have continued to circulate for decades, resurfacing whenever questions about Diddy's past behavior arise. The lack of clear answers and the silence that followed has only fueled speculation, leaving many to wonder how much of the truth was buried and who worked to keep it that way.
If you don't mind me asking, because I know the topic is sensitive, what happened to Usher?
I heard about some music executive from the industry back in Harlem. You know, I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not going to speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that, and they may be doing something, they may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executives.
What did you hear?
bro, you know how people be talking, and we was around some people, something like that, and then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't even know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when somebody say, yo, man, I don't F with them niggas, man, I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, nigga was bleeding from the butt. And that's what was said. But I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard, and that's what
By
happened.
this point, Usher was reportedly living almost entirely under Sean Diddy Combs' influence. A leaked clip that later circulated online, allegedly filmed at one of Diddy's private parties, sparked renewed controversy after viewers claimed it showed Diddy making deeply inappropriate remarks about Usher in the presence of comedian Kevin Hart. In other interviews from that era, Diddy also spoke openly about how closely Usher lived with him during his time at what was called Puffy Flavor Camp, including comments about their daily routines that many listeners later found unsettling. These resurfaced statements reignited disturbing questions. Why was an adult industry executive describing such intimate proximity to a 13-year-old artist? And why were these remarks dismissed for years instead of seriously investigated?
We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No. I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shouts out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even. I don't want it to come close to the bed at all. Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. Usher.
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause, but like that's how. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up earlier than me.
Years later, some critics have pointed to subsequent legal controversies as evidence of the long-term consequences of Usher's early exposure to inappropriate environments. In 2012, multiple lawsuits were filed alleging that Usher failed to disclose a serious health condition to intimate partners. Those cases ultimately resulted in confidential settlements reportedly totaling more than $1 million, though Usher has never publicly admitted wrongdoing. While these legal disputes were separate from his childhood experiences, many observers have since questioned whether they reflected deeper, unresolved trauma stemming from his formative years in the industry. Trauma that began long before he was old enough to understand its impact.
Well, some documents have leaked about Usher. They were obtained by Radar Online, and apparently back in 2009 or 2010, he had contracted herpes and passed it on to a celebrity stylist having unprotected sex with her. He had to pay $1.1 million to that woman for severe emotional distress, and he also covered her medical bills. That case was settled back in 2012. Now, allegedly, there was a greenish discharge from his penis.
Whoa, that's a booger. He's not a booger. You can get penis boogers? I didn't know that.
He said he went to the doctor. He was cleared of any STDs, so the woman went on and continued. Now, if I notice a greenish discharge oozing out of your penis.
Exactly. This ain't Nickelodeon.
I don't know that I would
ain't
continue.
slime.
What you gonna say,
I know all these kids playing with slime nowadays, but no.
I don't care who you are, okay?
Nothing green supposed to be coming out your penis.
Nah, not at all.
That's not how this works.
Nope.
Yellow comes out my penis and white.
Usher has never publicly defined his sexuality, and that remains a deeply personal matter, one that is entirely his own. However, critics have noted a recurring pattern in the people who have surrounded him throughout his career, individuals who later faced serious allegations of abuse, exploitation, or personal instability themselves. One such figure is Orlando Brown, who has made highly controversial public claims involving both Usher and Sean Diddy Combs. While Brown's statements have been widely disputed and remain unverified, their existence has nonetheless fueled ongoing speculation and renewed scrutiny of the environments Usher was exposed to from a very young age. These claims, regardless of their credibility, have kept difficult questions alive about power, influence, and what really happens behind closed doors in the industry.
We made love. We made love.
Who you made love with?
Diddy, Bow Wow,
Busta Rhymes.
You just told me you see Busta in the airport too. That motherfucker try to act like he didn't know you. You smashed Drake?
No, I never smashed.
Oh, you made love to Drake.
And Cat Williams. What's his name?
Bro, you smashing a lot of people.
What's that name? Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. Usher. Usher's a gusher.
Shockingly, Usher now finds himself at the center of allegations that mirror the very system he once survived. In 2008, teenage sensation Justin Bieber, just 13 years old, was signed to Island Def Jam, with Usher serving as his mentor and guiding force under executive L.A. Reid. The parallels were impossible to ignore. Justin was the same age Usher had been when he entered the industry himself, but instead of shielding the young star, critics point to a deeply troubling decision. Usher allegedly allowed Justin to spend 48 hours under the supervision of Sean Diddy Combs, with no parents present and no formal oversight. According to widely circulated accounts, Justin was discouraged from speaking about what happened during that time. These claims, whether fully understood or not, have reignited serious questions about power, protection, and silence in the music industry, raising an unsettling possibility that the cycle didn't end, it evolved.
Anyways, I want to also just show you this montage. This is a montage that was shared by Evie Magazine. They do great work on their TikTok of Justin Bieber, again, just 15 years old, in Hollywood, surrounded by a bunch of adults. And you let me know if any of this registers to you as normal. Take a listen.
I feel violated right now. Wow.
Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like that was bad.
Yeah.
Wow, look at your eyes. Yeah, look at what a beautiful face. All right.
According to critics and online investigators, the damage didn't stop with one victim. It multiplied. They allege that Sean Diddy Combs had groomed Usher so deeply that, years later, Usher became part of the very machine that once exploited him, helping Usher in a new generation of vulnerable talent. In those same accounts, Justin Bieber's parents are often compared to Usher's mother, accused of prioritizing access and opportunity over protection. Whether through trust, pressure, or willful blindness, critics argue that safeguards failed when they mattered most. And if these allegations hold any truth, the implications are chilling. A cycle of power, silence, and exploitation that began with Usher didn't end. It allegedly continued with Justin Bieber, reinforcing long-standing fears about how abuse can repeat itself inside the music industry's darkest corners.
Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute, and his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
No.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there.
It's alarming to consider the connections between some of the biggest names in the industry. Allegedly, Justin Bieber was also brought into this controversial environment, and in interviews, Usher has made comments about him that have raised eyebrows, particularly given that everyone involved was still a minor at the time. These remarks, combined with the history of troubling behavior reported at the so-called Flavor Camp, have reignited serious questions about the safety and oversight of young artists in the music world.
First time you met Justin Bieber, this kid comes up to you. He's not Justin Bieber yet. He's just some kid. And he says, I want to sing for you.
It was at the studio of Jermaine Dupri's. I said, why don't you set up a meeting between me and your manager? I'd love to meet with you and do this in a formal setting. I'm late for an appointment with Jermaine Dupri.
Right.
And I don't want to keep him waiting. Let's just do this the right way.
And then you have him come to audition for you, right?
Actually, there were a few people. My wife at the time.
Right.
It also was Perry Reed, L.A. Reid's first wife.
So you were all sitting in a room somewhere.
We were in a room.
Yeah.
And I showed her the video. And Perry says, are you crazy? You better get down there and meet this kid right now. He's amazing.
When all these dick pics come out and all this stuff with Bieber's big penis, are you the mastermind behind that? Say, listen, show off your big penis and people will come to those concerts. Or are you sitting there?
Is that the kind of managing he's doing?
Usher, are you sitting down with him and saying, yeah, show your or leave it in your pants? I mean, do you sit him down and say, look, part of this is PR,
Hey,
man.
by the way, he does have a brain of his own.
Yeah, but were you shocked at the size of his penis?
Hey, listen, he has a mind of his own. What he chose to do with his penis is his prerogative. He's managing that aspect of his life.
But Usher is somebody...
I have nothing to do with Justin Bieber's private parts, man.
Justin
Come on.
Bieber trusted Usher and looked up to Sean Diddy Combs, but according to his own account, that trust was ultimately betrayed. In a recent interview with Apple Music, Justin became visibly emotional, breaking down as he recalled the experiences he endured as a young artist. He spoke candidly about the lasting impact of those events and emphasized his mission to protect today's child stars, vowing to help ensure that young talent in the music industry is never subjected to the same dangers he once faced.
Stuff of my past, and I wasn't able to move on.
Do you think the person that the you of then was on a path of self-destruction?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would have, for sure, 100%. Yeah. It would have been no bueno. It was bad. I don't know if I'd be alive, for sure. It was dark, but I want to definitely tell my story so that if that resonates to anybody, that they can hopefully learn from it.
Well, for me, music comes from somewhere.
Right.
Maybe it comes from this youthful naivety and this desire to escape something. And then you get out there in front of the world, and then it comes from a place of wanting more of it.
Yeah. I mean, just think about how young I was and so impressionable. And you have everybody telling me how awesome I am at all times, and I just want people to understand, the psychology behind why I potentially could have problems in my life. So, yeah, thank you for being here and helping me tell that story. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters, and I just want to protect her, I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. Yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
Do you realize how important your story is? Every time I have a conversation with someone who's been through this unique type of experience, I'm searching for some kind of truth that can help.
I commend you for going there and asking the tough questions and the things that people don't want to talk about, and they don't want to go there because it's revealing, and I want people to take a look at my story, and hopefully my words can make a difference.
Would you rap?
Has your mom given you the sex talk yet? I mean, I really don't want to have that conversation with my mother. Yeah. I've kind of had it with my father.
You want to hear? Oh, really? See, my parents never gave me the sex talk.
Okay.
That last one is really just the sickest, asking a young teenage boy whether or not he's had the sex talk. He's doing a media hit on a radio, and she's asking him as one of the questions, have you had the sex talk? This is Hollywood for you guys.
Justin Bieber has described his experience with Usher as one of the most damaging periods of his early career. According to Justin, being managed by Usher had a profoundly negative effect on both his personal life and professional development. The strain was so severe that Justin eventually severed ties, unfollowing Usher on social media and even opting out of performing alongside him at high-profile events like the Super Bowl. In interviews and testimony, Justin has made it clear that he has been working to recover from the long-lasting impact of that chapter, shining a light on the challenges young artists can face under powerful industry figures.
You get career. Do you know Raymond Usher IV?
No.
Do you know an individual, an entertainer by the name of Usher?
Yeah, Usher. That sounds familiar.
Isn't it true that Usher was instrumental in starting your career?
What does that have to do with this litigation, Mr. DeKalb? This is just you trying to harass the client.
Before we came back here, you had asked me.
She's going to let her read back the question. Thank you for your memory.
Is it true that Usher was very instrumental in starting your career?
That was the last question. I was found on YouTube. I think that I was detrimental to my own career.
Justin Bieber, is continuing the purge. He has now moved to unfollow Usher, okay, his original mentor. So this is a very big story. And the reason why we should discuss this and we should not diminish what is happening, it's not celebrity drama. This is actually the fall of Babylon that we are witnessing, Hollywood Babylon, that is. Something happened in the background and people started noticing some things last year. In 2024, you guys will remember that Usher was tapped to perform at the Super Bowl. And people therefore assumed, because usually when you are tapped to perform the Super Bowl, you bring in all your hits, you call up all your homies, there's all of these guest surprises of people jumping on stage, and it's a trip down memory lane. So everyone was really hyped and assuming that Justin Bieber would be on the stage with him, especially because Justin Bieber went to this Super Bowl. So the signs were there. But then news began breaking that actually, no, Justin Bieber had snubbed him, that he had turned down Usher. People were wondering if this was true or just, usual rumor mill in the media. But then Usher confirmed it on the Breakfast Club. Kind of seemed like he was trying to make it seem like it wasn't a big deal, that here I am the mentor and he turned me down. Here is what Usher said explaining that on the Breakfast Club.
Why didn't things work out with Justin Bieber?
You know what? They did work out with Justin. I honored and recognized that my brother, I think that it might have been the fact that he was just, wanting to tell a different story right now. But there's no love lost or anything like that.
Seems like he's struggling to find words there, doesn't it? He's saying, I think that maybe he's just trying to write a different story. What does that mean? I think that. You've been his mentor for decades. Shouldn't you know that? Almost decades, right? Shouldn't you know the reason why he didn't want to perform with you? Saying that he's trying to write a different story. What does that mean? Clearly, Justin Bieber was already pulling back, is what.
It wasn't just Usher and Sean Diddy Combs who failed Justin Bieber. His own parents, at critical moments, also reportedly refused to intervene. While Justin was allegedly mistreated and exploited, sometimes even on stage, much of the world, including fans, dismissed what they saw as entertainment or a joke. In reality, Justin was a young, vulnerable teenager desperately in need of guidance and protection. Instead of support, he was surrounded by adults who, according to reports and interviews, sought to manipulate and use him for their own gain. This chapter of his life serves as a stark reminder of how easily young artists can be exploited in an industry obsessed with fame and profit.
Justin Bieber turned 15, and it suddenly seemed that Hollywood was keen to almost initiate him. I think that's the right word. Like there was almost like this initiation that he needed to go through. So I want you to be now super uncomfortable and watch this video of an interaction between him and none other than Diddy. Take a listen.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
I'm going crazy.
Welcome to the family, Judge.
Usher was entrusted with Justin Bieber's care and guidance during his early career, yet according to some reports, he failed to provide the protection Justin needed. Instead of shielding him, Justin was allegedly exposed to environments and individuals that put him at risk, raising serious questions about the adults responsible for safeguarding young talent in the music industry.
You got to trademark that. But do you believe hip-hop got a gay mafia?
Yes. Do I believe there's people behind the scenes that are homosexuals that are pushing buttons? Yes. Yes. And that they want you to be down with their in order to push the button for you? Absolutely. And this is part of it. You just saw one of the gay mafia members. That's who he is. That's who Puffy is. He's one of the members of the mob. He's a mafia member. But he might not be Don Carl. He's not the godfather. You see? He's not the godfather. He's one of the heads of the families. You see? We had different families in this game. We got Bad Boy. We got fucking what do we have? Death Row over here. We have the different we got fucking Arista Records and LaFace. These are the fucking families in the mafia. You dig? Those record companies are like families.
According to sources close to Sean Diddy Combs, troubling behavior toward both Usher and Justin Bieber has been reported for years. Media commentator Gene Deal has often said, "Where there's smoke, there's fire," and many of the persistent rumors surrounding Justin and Usher appear to originate from accounts of abuse allegedly witnessed by people in Diddy's inner circle. While much remains unverified, these claims have fueled decades of speculation and raised serious questions about what went on behind the scenes in the lives of these young stars.
This guy is walking around threatening other actors, people. Somebody got to get involved in it. If it ain't the state, let it be the feds. Somebody got to stop him. He lucky that God given him the opportunity to be stopped while he's alive, didn't have to go to hell and face that shit. He got a chance to repent now, change his life.
You mentioned minors, you know, and a lot of people have been trying to drag Justin Bieber into this situation because there's a lot of like suspect looking videos with Diddy and Bieber in it, and you know they're making a lot of allegations.
Mm-hmm. Same way they made allegations about Usher when Usher was younger.
I mean, do you think that there's any credibility to these allegations?
When there's smoke, there's fire. Why would Diddy be tapping his kid in his chest to see if he wired? And asking him, are you wired? Why would he be confronting that kid? Why would Justin Bieber make a song about, what is it? I got smashed at a Diddy party or something like that? Why? There's reasons behind all this. So where there's smoke, there's fire, Cam. I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, Justin, he's been real quiet about this. I mean, I think like a lot of the other celebrities.
I was reading some, Cam, and the kid say after he went to Diddy camp, he started using drugs so heavy and was smashed every day. What would cause a kid who wanted to be an artist in the music business all of a sudden to start getting high and drinking and drugging, popping pills and smoking? What would cause a kid to do that?
I mean, usually trauma.
Or a Diddy party.
Rumors have surfaced that recordings exist showing both Usher and Justin Bieber allegedly being abused by Sean Diddy Combs. Lawyers involved in the case have confirmed that these tapes could be presented in court, a move that could potentially shake some of the biggest careers in the music industry to their core. Sources say Diddy is doing everything he can to prevent this evidence from seeing the light of day. With just 1 month remaining before the next court date, his legal team has reportedly filed a motion to suppress all evidence seized during raids on his mansion, escalating the drama and raising the stakes to unprecedented levels.
Now to Sean Diddy Combs, looking to suppress evidence in his federal trial. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky is back with the story. Good morning again, Aaron.
And to you, Michael. You'll remember federal agents from Homeland Security investigations were hardly shy when they raided Sean Combs' opulent homes in Los Angeles and Miami, guns drawn. The jailed music mogul now argues those searches and other searches of his iCloud accounts, electronic devices, and New York City hotel room following his arrest were unconstitutional. His lawyers argue evidence obtained through those searches must be suppressed. Diddy's lawyers say the government presented a grossly distorted picture of reality when applying for the search warrants, omitting certain facts and including salacious details from an unnamed producer that were never credible. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution charges. The defense is also arguing here his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, was a willing participant in drug-fueled sex performances called freak-offs, not coerced, as prosecutors allege.
The trial starts and the jury sits. Will they be shown these tapes?
100%.
Will they have to watch it in court? Like during
100% in court in front of a room of people. And so that's the other thing that's awful. They are going to be watching basically porn for hours on end in front of people. So in front of victim one, whoever it may be, there's going to be porn played in the federal courtroom.
And victim one would have been made aware of this.
Oh, 100%. She's probably being told right now, like, this is going to be played in open court. Your sex history, your sex life is going to be talked about in open court. All of this.
And presumably then she knows that and she's pushing forward because she hasn't withdrawn.
But don't forget this. It doesn't matter if she does or she doesn't. This isn't a civil case. This is the criminal case. So she could flat out tell the federal government, I don't want to participate. And they can say, we don't care. This is a crime. Crimes are against the United States, not against, they keep calling her victim one, but don't forget, she's a witness to a crime. So it doesn't matter if she went to them in today and said, I'm not participating. Their response, we don't care. Get your ass on the
stand. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. The allegations surrounding Sean Diddy Combs, Usher, and the darker side of the music industry continue to unfold, with new evidence and legal battles bringing long-hidden truths closer to the surface. Will justice finally be served, or will these powerful figures evade accountability once again? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this deep dive eye-opening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more revealing stories from behind the scenes of the music world.